Hey everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Tuesday. It's April 29th. It is 2025. We have a 10-game MLB slate to talk about here on today's podcast. As always, if you haven't already, make sure you go over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/morninggrind. Hit that subscribe button. Help us out. We're on the road to 10,000 subs over there. I'd love to get to 2,000 by the end of May. So that's my goal. That's the current goal for the Morning Grind YouTube page. So if you haven't already, help us out. Help me out. I keep saying us. It's me. Help me out. It's not sponsored by anybody. It's all me. And if you want to help us out or help me out, I will never stop saying us, I guess. What's up, chat? Hope you're all having a fantastic Monday night. Richie, Jeremy, Dave, Carolina guy, Todd, Robert. Go Red Sox. Yes, love that. What's happening, everyone? You having a fantastic Monday night? A very interesting baseball slate that we have going on Monday night. I am personally rooting for the Braves to blow up. That's the best team that I have going. So I'm rooting for Atlanta. Rooting for Austin Riley for our Morning Grind play, and I think he needed like 6 more fantasy points, so he's going to get up this inning. So we'll get a little bit of a live sweat for the Morning Grind 3-pick play over there on PrizePicks. But we got Nootbaar and Gunnar Henderson already, so just rooting for Riley. What's up, DJ? What's up, everyone? As always, like I say, it's the First Look podcast. The things are going to change throughout the day, so make sure you're adjusting. Check the weather. Check what games have good weather for hitting. Let's get into it. Let's talk some baseball. A lot to talk about. A lot of good pitchers on this slate. A couple bad pitchers. A couple in between pitchers. My favorite kind of slates when we have some pitchers to talk about, and I definitely think this is one of those. So, Kansas City at Tampa Bay, 9 total in this game. Tampa Bay, a 155 favorite. We have Lorenzen against Taj Bradley in this one. We'll start here on the road for Michael Lorenzen. 19.7% strikeout rate on the season. Has really struggled getting right-handed bats out, which is kind of odd. But last season, he struggled with righties too. His strikeout rate is actually up against right-handed hitters this season, but his hard hit rate just continues to be really high. Barrel rate's really high against righties. Just really struggling with right-handed bats. Had a really good outing last time out. Talked about him on the podcast, and then it got postponed and moved to the next day, and he ended up having a really good outing. I took a bet on his under, I think it was 2.5 runs against Colorado in that game, and it worked out. He pitched really well. Tougher matchup here going into Tampa. We talk about this a lot now, but this ballpark definitely seems a lot more friendly for hitting than the Trop. Shocking. Outside in the end of April, beginning of May in Florida, it's kind of warmer, so I think the weather is going to be nice here. So yeah, I don't have a lot of interest, if any interest, in Lorenzen. Really worked out last time out, and we have to have short memories. And the short memory for me is I don't love this spot for him. Going to the other side here, Taj Bradley, his strikeout rate's down a little bit this season. His whiff rate and swinging strike rate are also down. That's not a good sign for him. So he did pitch decent last time out against Arizona, but still really hasn't showed that upside that we're looking for. I don't necessarily hate this matchup. I think Kansas City has kind of struggled to start the season and not the worst team to target right now. But just kind of looking through the numbers from Taj Bradley, his split finger is kind of right where it was last year. It's just not generating as many whiffs. His fastball is right where it was last year, but it's getting hit really hard. So looking at some of the X stats before the show, don't really love what I was seeing from Taj Bradley's advanced stats. A lot of hard contact. I don't think he's the craziest tournament play because Kansas City has struggled to start the season. But the one thing, even with their struggles, they haven't been striking out a ton. They have one of the lower strikeout rates in baseball against right-handed pitching. I think they're 23rd or 24th or something. So 6th or 7th best, 8th best. Yeah. So I don't necessarily love the strikeout upside here for Bradley, even though they've struggled and I could see him pitching decent, maybe scoring 20 to 25. Like I said, I don't think he's the craziest tournament play. I just don't think he has a ton of strikeout upside in this matchup. As far as Kansas City bats go, obviously Bobby Witt always in play, but we're starting to get more and more sample size for this season. And if we're looking at like the power numbers throughout this whole lineup are just down right now. Again, hitting conditions should be really good here, even for the Kansas City side. Witt 5,800, but the rest of this team is really cheap. Pasquantino all the way down to 3,200. I mean, at that point, he's like a value play. He hasn't had the strongest start to the season. He's making contact. He's making good hard contact, 58% hard contact against right-handed pitching this season. He has one of the lowest BABIPs at like 197. So I think like Vinny P, he's getting a little unlucky to start the season. I think we're going to see some positive regression coming his way. Like his WOBA on the season is like 240. His X WOBA is 278. His hard hit rate's high enough. Again, like if we start looking at his stats against like right-handed pitching, they go way up compared to left-handed pitching. So, I mean, his X WOBA for right-handed pitching this season is 354, 473 X slugging. Just like the price tag here. Again, he's not whiffing on any fastballs. We saw this last year with him. He's a really good fastball hitter. So really like where he's at with the potential here. So I think he is a solid value option from Kansas City. Going to the other side here, the Tampa side. I mean, I like Tampa in this spot. I think Lorenzen is hittable. They're not expensive whatsoever. So like this, Camnero is someone I really like at 4,100. He's had a good start to the season. He's actually hit right-handed pitching really well. Talked about Lorenzen's struggles with right-handed hitters, so I like that. Misner is always someone I like to play. Simpson at the top of the order. That speed, if he's able to get on base here against Lorenzen with his below-average strikeouts. So I think Tampa very much in play today. I have no issues taking some shots here. This game has a 9 total. Tampa has one of the highest implied team totals on the entire slate. So don't sleep on Tampa here. First game of the night. I think this is a good spot for them, and they're not overly expensive. You're going to be able to get Tampa 3, 4, 5-man stacks and get the pitching that you want on this slate because of the Tampa pricing. So they're definitely a team I'm going to have in my player pool today. Boston at Toronto, 7.5 total in this one. Boston a 154 favorite. Crochet against Francis in this one. I really haven't had the opportunity to talk a lot about Boston in general this year because they've been playing those like early slates, and I don't know. We really haven't had a chance to talk a lot about Garrett Crochet, but I love this pickup. If you listened to the podcast last year, you know that I was on this guy very, very early last year. I thought he was absolutely legit, and it just continues to be that way. His swinging strike rate is fantastic. His whiff rate is fantastic. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily hate this spot for him, but I still respect the fact that like this team doesn't strike out a ton. So I could see him like going out there and pitching 5 or 6 good innings, but not racking up the strikeouts, like 4 to 6 strikeouts instead of like 7 to 10 strikeouts here. He's 10-5. He's expensive. He struggled against them in his first outing against them earlier this year. 5 2/3, 4 runs, one earned run in that game. Struggle with walks. We saw him struggle with walks last time out against Seattle. When his command is right, he's pitching good. I mean, he is one of the toughest pitchers in baseball to hit. So One thing that I do like to check with Crochet is like who's umpiring the game. I think that matters when you're looking at him. So I'll check that. But overall, I think he's a really sound pitcher. I like his upside. I do have a couple pitchers that I like more than him today. So I wouldn't rank Crochet as like my top option, but I don't think Crochet is going to have as much ownership. So I do like him for tournaments. Bowden Francis on the other side. I mean, for me, with Francis, he's above average against righties. He really struggles with lefties. And the Red Sox are going to get enough lefties in this lineup for me to probably stay away from him here. Abreu, Cassis, Devers, Duran. Like, they're going to get 4 to 6 lefties in this lineup. So I'm worried about that overall for Francis. I don't necessarily love this spot for him. So I lean more Boston than I do Bowden Francis today because we do have a lot of pitching options. So looking at the Boston bats, again, picking on Francis with lefties. He really has struggled with lefties this year. A lot of power. Really just not missing left-handed bats. A lot of barrels. Hard hit rates through the roof for Bowden Francis. So really want to target these Boston lefties against him. Duran. It's the same guys I just mentioned. Duran, Devers, Abreu would be my 3 favorites here. Cassis, yeah, I will say like Cassis started the season awful. He's been a little bit better here recently. He has a couple home runs recently, so that's good. But he still has been struggling. The price tag is right for a guy that's been struggling. So I mean, Duran, Devers, and Abreu, my favorites. Bregman, I don't care if he is good righty. I still want to play Bregman, so I like him for sure. But overall, for me on the Boston side, I prefer the lefties. Bregman's having too good of a season not to have some interest in him. On the Toronto side, I think Crochet is one of the better pitchers in baseball. The left-handed numbers for this team, not the best. If we look at since the beginning of last year, Vlad has been good against lefties. Santander. Springer was really bad against lefties last year. He's done a little bit better this year. But overall, for me, it's more Crochet than it is Toronto bats today. Arizona at New York, taking on the Mets. 8.5 total in this game. Mets a 142 favorite. We got Erod against Peterson in this one. Was it the Mets that just had an insane day on Riley Green just hit another home run? Oh, love to see that. Man, if you played the 2 lefties in Detroit like I talked about with Green and Carpenter, you're having a really good day. 19 runs for All right. I knew they scored a lot. I didn't realize they scored that many, but I knew they scored a lot. I saw a lot of home runs there for them. So, all right, let's talk a little bit here about this spot. That's a big day. All right, Erod. I definitely prefer left-handed pitching against the Mets compared to right-handed pitching. They're so good against righties. They're so good. I mean, they're good against lefties too. Vientos, Marte, Lindor, Alonso. But I feel like you definitely want to have right-handed pitch or left-handed pitchers against them. Erod, strikeout rate has been really decent this season. Command has been a little bit shaky, but he has the ability to go and attack hitters with his strikeout ability. This team doesn't strike out a ton. Some of his advanced numbers suggest that like his strikeout rate's going to come down. It's good that he's throwing more strikes and not walking as many hitters, but I think that there's better slates to play him on, and I don't think this is one where I would have a ton of interest in him. So I'm going to pass on my boy Erod today. We'll talk about the bats on the other side here in just a second. Let's talk David Peterson pitching up against Arizona. I mean, he's been same story, same year, different story, or same story, same year, different year, same story. Get the words out, Stevie. Get the words out. I mean, really elite against lefties and tries to go out and generates ground balls against righties. Arizona's lineup, are they going to leave like Carroll and Taylor and some of these lefties in there? Probably. So I'm tempted under 8K, some upside. We know he's capable of strikeout games. So Peterson is someone that is a fringe play for me. Checking the lineup once the lineup comes out. How many lefties? Do we get 4 lefties in this lineup? Like, his strikeout rate against lefties last year was 27%. It was 16% against righties. This season, it's 32% against lefties. He's really good against lefties. He's yet to get barreled this season against the left-handed hitters. So he allowed 2 home runs against Miami in his opening day or his first start of the season, and hasn't allowed an earned run since. Or a home run since. So Peterson's a fringe play for me. I want to see what this lineup looks like. I definitely prefer left-handed pitching. I know I talked about this, I think, last week. Arizona has been one of the best teams in the league against right-handed pitching this season. They're mediocre against lefties. So as far as the bats here on the Arizona side, I know Suarez is coming off of a monster weekend. I don't love the ballpark, but I mean, if you wanted to take some shots on him at 4,500 against a lefty, go for it. He'd be my favorite play here. I don't like Carroll, lefty. I don't think Pavin Smith plays. Josh Naylor probably plays. Grichuk probably gets a start here and then gets pinch hit for later in the game. I think like it'd probably be Suarez. And I don't love this spot overall for Arizona. It's kind of why I was leaning a little bit of Peterson here. As far as the Mets go, it's not like Eduardo Rodriguez is a bad pitcher. He does give up power to right-handed bats. So if you're looking at the spot, obviously Pete Alonso, Vientos, Acuna, is he really cheap still? 3,700. I liked it when he was like 3,100. He's shown some upside against left-handed pitching, so I don't hate that. Vientos at 3,500 seems like a really good price tag on DraftKings. Pete Alonso against lefty, obviously some interest there, but don't love this ballpark. A lot of good stacks on the slate. I think if anything, I'd play Mets right-handed power. I was making a note, right-handed power. Milwaukee at Chicago taking on the White Sox. 8 total in this game. The Milwaukee Brewers, a 230 favorite. We got Peralta against an opener for the White Sox. Tyler Gilbert. They did this the other day through 1 inning. And then was it Burke that came in? So I think we'll see this a little bit with Tyler Gilbert. Bryce Wilson will be the long reliever here. No bueno for Wilson. Not a good spot by any means here for him. So let's talk about Freddie Peralta first. Obviously, I think Freddie Peralta is one of the better strikeout pitchers in baseball. He has been for the last couple seasons. Love this matchup for him against the White Sox. A lot of strikeout upside in this lineup. Very limited power in this lineup. He's my top pitcher on the slate today. I know that I talked about Crochet. We're going to talk about like Jacob deGrom, Nick Pivetta, Logan Webb. Like these guys are on the slate, but Peralta is my guy today. I love this matchup. I love the limited upside in the power department for the White Sox. So I think that we're going to see a really big game, and I love pitchers that pitch with a lead, and I think that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to put up some runs here against Bryce Wilson. So we've only seen like one big game from Freddie Peralta this season, and I think that he's capable of big games, and I think this is a spot he's capable of that big game. So I just absolutely love the spot for Peralta. Other side, getting the long relief here from Bryce Wilson. He's not good. He's below average. He struggles to both sides of the plate. 451 WOBA, 295 ISO, 14% Ks on the season. Swinging strike rate, and hard hit rate is massive. So low swinging strike rate and a high hard hit rate. Man, I cannot speak today. What is this? So no interest in Wilson. A ton of interest here in the Brewers. I don't necessarily love these like opener situations, but I think this is a great spot. Terang, Tirio, Yelich, Frelick should get the righty unless they are putting it on them in the first inning, which is great. We want to see a lot of runs scored in the first inning. So, yeah, I mean, I personally really like Milwaukee. Played them a lot last year. Not scared by the lefties starting this game. Mitchell just got put on the IL, so we'll see. I know they called up Cameron. Don't know if he'll be in the lineup or not, but he is minimum salary. So if he does draw a start, I think they play Isaac Collins here instead of Cameron, and he's only 2,400 on DraftKings. So I like the Brewers today. They're definitely one of the stacks that I want a good amount of exposure to in like my 20 entry max build. As far as the White Sox, listen, if Peralta just doesn't have it, he just doesn't have it today. I'm going to play a lot of Peralta. I'm not going to play White Sox here. I like this spot for Peralta. I'm going to pass on the Sox. The White Sox, that is. Athletics at Texas. 8.5 total in this game. Texas, a 205 favorite. We got Joey Estes against Jacob deGrom. We'll start with Estes. We've seen him a couple times this year. He's been awful in both of those starts. I don't really expect much different here. Like, he was below average last season. He struggled with strikeouts. He struggled with fly balls. This year, he's really struggling. He's getting barreled at one of the highest rates in the league. He's given up 12 earned runs through 7 innings in his 2 outings this year. He's just, I mean, he got hammered by the Rockies and Coors, and he got hammered by the Cubs. I think Texas is one of the top stacks on the slate today. This guy has not been good, so I'm going to pass on Estes. Like Jacob deGrom a lot. We're starting to see Jacob deGrom's numbers start to come closer to what we're used to. The only thing that I will say is I hate pitchers pitching against the same offense in back-to-back starts. He just pitched against this team last time out 5 days ago. So you don't love that. He got in some trouble in the last part of that game. He had been pitching really good. I like the upside. I like the strikeout potential here. I do think the Athletics are a tough offense. They've really been. I don't think people realize like how good the Athletics have been this season. They have the 4th lowest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. They're 8th in WRC plus against right-handed pitching. They're 8th in ISO against right-handed pitching this season. So I don't think people realize just how solid the Athletics have been. The ballpark helps. Don't get me wrong. I know. But deGrom's under 9K, and we know he's capable of big games. So I'm okay with taking some shots on him here. Where I wouldn't stack necessarily against Peralta, because I'm going to play a lot of Peralta. Kind of large field tournament stuff. I kind of like the Athletics in a large field tournament. So in my 20 entry max build, I'm going to have 1 or 2 athletic stacks, so 5 or 10% on full 5-man athletic stacks. Reason I say this is not because Jacob deGrom's a bad pitcher. Even if he's not as good as he once was, he's still one of the top pitchers in baseball, right? And he looks a lot better than he did his first few starts, which doesn't really shock anybody. I'm a huge deGrom fan. I've said it many times. But with all that said, this team's been really good. They haven't been striking out. They can put the ball in play. They just saw this guy. I think this stack makes a little sense here for large field tournaments. So I personally hope deGrom, I'm going to play way more deGrom than I am going to play Athletics. So I personally hope deGrom beats me in this one. But for tournaments, I do like taking some shots on Jacob here. As far as the Texas bats, like I said, they're one of my favorite stacks on the slate today. I mean, this guy is so hittable. We missed Corey Seager in this lineup, but Wyatt Langford, just an awesome spot for him. I wouldn't even hate the idea of playing some Jock Peterson in this low strikeout matchup. Josh Smith should probably bat leadoff here, so like him a lot. Wyatt Langford against anybody right now. I like Josh Jung. Garcia, I like him more against righties. So again, I think Texas is one of the top stacks on the slate today for me. And I don't think that will change much throughout the day. Unless Estes gets scratched or something. Detroit at Houston. 7.5 game pick'em game. Reese Olson against Ryan Gusto. I was doing research before the show, and my wife was asking me about it and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking up this guy Ryan Gusto right now," and she had some stuff to say. All right. Reese Olson. We tried Jack Flaherty and how decent Jack Flaherty is against righties, and it didn't work out. Reese Olson has a higher strikeout rate against lefties than he does against righties. He has a much higher ground ball rate against righties, and he gives up less power to righties, but his strikeout rate against righties has been really down since the start of last season. Very concerning against a team like this. Coming off of his best start of the season against San Diego, looked incredible in that start. Looked really good against Kansas City. So he's been getting it going. Even if we go back and we look at last year, his strikeout rate was 3% higher. But he is a massive ground ball guy that has a really low WOBA. He's under 8K. And I don't think you're playing Olson for strikeouts. I think you're playing Olson for 7 shutout innings against an offense that is very right-handed heavy. Didn't work out with Flaherty, but this reminds me a lot of like the Seth Lugo spot. I think Reese Olson's numbers are very similar to Seth Lugo, strikeout-wise, ground ball-wise, and stuff like that. So he doesn't give up home runs typically. He does a really good job of limiting runs in general. So under 8K in this spot, I think we take some shots on him in this spot. So Gusto on the other side. Gusto struggles with lefties. I feel like this is identical to what I said yesterday about Blanco. I said play Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, play the lefties. He could pitch well against the righties. I mean, that's basically what happened. He's at 14 fantasy points. My Atlanta stack, my best stack, had Blanco in it. I really need Atlanta to do something this next inning with the top of the lineup coming back up, or my night's going to be a wash. So rooting for Atlanta here to get it going. Gusto, I mean, it's basically the same thing I said. I think he could pitch really well against most of this lineup. If he can limit the damage against Carpenter and Green, he probably has a really solid outing here. So he's under 8K as well. Do you take shots? I think you could potentially take some shots here, but for me personally, I'm going to probably play other pitchers on this slate. As far as the bats for Detroit, it's Kerry Carpenter and it's Riley Green. One-offs are a 2-man stack. Those are the 2 guys I like. Those are the 2 guys I think you should have some exposure to. As far as Houston for me, I really don't have a lot of interest in Houston. They're very right-handed heavy. This guy has a 55% ground ball rate against righties since the start of last season. Gives up very little power. Doesn't typically give up a lot of home runs. It's a 10-game slate. We're going to need some home runs. So a guy that does a really good job of limiting home runs and pitching well against righties, I think this is a spot to stay away from Houston. Even if you don't want to play Olson, I think this is a good spot to stay away. Atlanta at Colorado, 10.5 total in this game. Atlanta, a 196 favorite. AJ Smith-Schroyer against Herman Marquez. Smith-Schroyer first here. I mean, going into Coors, Bryce Elder pitched okay. It just tells you like how bad this offense is if Bryce Elder is going out there and pitching okay. I mean, the problem that I have here is like the hard contact that he gives up in this ballpark. It's not always necessarily home runs that you're worried about, but like you are always a little worried about balls hitting the gap and stuff. 7,500. I think this is one of those spots that I'd rather play Olsen. I could see him like having a decent outing. We saw him a little bit last year. We've seen him a little bit this year. We really don't know what to fully expect yet. He had a really good spring training. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's back. I didn't realize that he got sent down. He got sent down when Spencer Strider got activated. And then when Strider got hurt, he came back. I mean, you're trying to prove yourself. So I guess, it could be worse than facing this Rockies lineup. There's a lot of strikeouts in this Rockies lineup. I don't personally think I'd do it, but I wouldn't necessarily call you crazy in a 150 build if you wanted to play a little bit. Marquez, I mean, he doesn't miss bats. I feel like I say this every time he starts, but he doesn't miss bats. His strikeout rate's 13.9%. He has a 420 WOBA. He's getting hit hard over 50% of the time. He just can't generate whiffs. He's still generating enough, like not getting barreled a ton and like that kind of stuff. But I mean, you look at the last couple times out, Kansas City, the Dodgers, 13 earned runs. He has 18 earned runs allowed over this last 3 starts on the road, not even in course. So just no interest for me whatsoever on Marquez. Load up on the Braves again. It's not working out right now, but I would love for it to work out here in the 8th and 9th inning for the Atlanta Stacks. They have 6 runs, but not good enough for their price tags. But yeah, I mean, I like this spot a lot for Atlanta. Riley, Ozuna, Olsen, Murphy, Albies. I will say, like, randomly, Eli White is just hitting everything right now, it feels like. He had a really good weekend. He's had a really good stretch here where he's just hitting. So he's 2 for 4 with a double. I mean, if you look at like his recent games, he's been doubling a lot. His RBIs are up. So at 3,300 in cores against Marquez, don't forget about Eli White in your Brave stacks. As far as the Rockies go, Smith Schroyer, from the small sample size we've had of him from last year and this year, he struggles with right-handed power bats. So guys like Doyle, Beck, Goodman would be the bats that I would do or have a lot of exposure to if I'm playing Colorado. McMahon's off to a really cold start to start the season. This whole lineup's off to a cold start, but I think the power righties is where you want to go. Doyle, Beck, Goodman, and I use the term power loosely. Moniak is always someone I like to play when it comes to this team. Just throwing his name out there because I don't know why he's hitting. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know why he hits 6, but it is what it is. Angels, Mariners, 7.5 total in this one. Seattle, a 170 favorite. Yeah, 170 favorite. Did they change who was pitching? Hold on. Hold on. I'm seeing something different here now. Give me 1 second. I just want to verify when I wrote this down, it was different. All right, so Kohanovic is pitching now. I wrote down something else. All right. That changes things a little bit for me in this spot. So Kohanovic and Miller facing off against each other in this one. All right. Hold on. I got to pull up. I did not do research for Kohanovic pitching here, but obviously we're going to like Seattle bats because he's not very good. All right. pull up his page here. All right. So 11.6% strikeouts on the season, has really struggled with left-handed power, still generates enough right-handed ground balls to generate outs there. He's not somebody you're going to play here. You really want to target left-handed bats against him in this spot. So we'll talk about that for the bats here in just a second. Bryce Miller on the other side of this game, he was really decent strikeouts against righties last season, but his swinging strike rate is down. His whiff rate is down against righties this year. And this lineup is very good against right-handed pitching. I know I say a lot of this stuff all the time, but I have to continue to say it. The Angels, like their WRC plus and stuff, not great, but man, they just keep hitting home runs against right-handed pitching this season. So really tough to play right-handed pitchers against them. I think with the pitching options that we have on this slate, I don't think I want to play Bryce Miller. He's only really had one good outing this season, so I'm out on Miller. And it looks like our boy Austin Riley is going to come up with men on first and second. We just need like a nice little double here. We don't even need a home run, Riley. We just need a nice little double. Let's get that double in there. All right. Angels bats. I mean, Miller, he definitely gives up a lot of line drives and fly balls to righties. His ground ball rate, that's something that I noticed when I was looking. His ground ball rate has been a lot lower against right-handed hitters this season. So, I mean, guys like Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, Ohapi, that have hit right-handed pitchers with power this season, I think you could definitely play those guys. Soler is another one. So, I mean, I want to target the power bats for the Angels. I don't think I'd necessarily full stack them. I want power home run guys in the spot. Maybe more mini stacks, one-off type of situations for me. As far as the Seattle bats, any of the lefties that are in here, Polanco, I think he is a really good play. I don't have FanDuel pulled up in front of me, but he has been underpriced over there a lot. Cal Riley, awesome spot for him. Luke Raley. I don't even mind if you're going to stack Seattle to play a little bit of a Rosarina and Julio Rodriguez, even with Kwanovich's like numbers against righties. They've been super solid. I think this is an excellent spot for Cal Riley. This is a guy that I think you want to have some exposure to on this slate. Fly ball guy against a guy that tries to generate ground balls that doesn't miss bats against lefties. It just seems like an excellent spot for Cal Riley. He's expensive, but he has 10 home runs on the season. The guy just keeps smashing. San Francisco at San Diego, 6.5 total in this game. San Francisco, a minus 130 favorite here. We got Logan Webb against Nick Pivetta in this one. Man, this is it seems like it's going to be an old-fashioned pitcher's duel in this game. I like both of these pitchers. So we'll start here with Logan Webb. I mean, just having a really strong start to the season, 30.8% strikeout rate. I've done many deep dives on him, and his swinging strike rate is up. His whiff rate is up. He's getting hitters to chase more. It's been a incredible start to the season for Logan Webb, and I don't think that it's stopping. Yeah, I mean, you don't love the matchup, but with some of the injuries that San Diego is dealing with right now, they're not the best lineup in the world. The bottom half of this lineup is atrociously bad. Iglesias, Wade, Oscar Gonzalez, you still got to get through like Tatis, Machado, and Bogarts at the top of this lineup. But overall, I think this is a really tough spot, or a really top end spot. I meant to say a spot that I like, but in play outs, we don't like in play outs, Austin Riley. That's going to probably come up short for us on the morning grind play over there. I don't think he'll get another at bat, so that stinks. Was hoping for him to do something. He had bases loaded earlier too. All right. So looking at the advanced numbers for Logan Webb. Why is he generating more whiffs this year? It's his sweeper. His sweeper and his changeup have been incredible this season. His whiff rate on his changeup last year was 21.6%. It's 44.2%. Looking at some of the advanced stats for the changeup, it looks like he is actually spinning it a little less, but it's getting more movement, if that makes sense. Love what he's doing. The drop on it, I guess, is what I was trying to say. The drop on his changeup has been incredible this year. So, and I was looking like his arm slot has been a little bit different. So I don't know if that's helping, but whatever he's doing and whatever he has changed up has been incredible for him. So I like this spot for Webb. I can tell you right now that I think I'm not gonna have much issues like narrowing down my pitcher pool today. I like what I like and don't think that will change too much. Nick Pivetta, other side here. You always worry about the fly ball issue, the home run issue that Nick Pivetta has, but pitching in this ballpark this year I think is going to help a lot with that. He has looked incredible here to start the season. He's dominated in 3 or 4 of his 5 starts that he's had. He's 9,500. At 27% Ks, just continues to pitch really well. His ISO is way down. His WOBA is way down. Another guy that his swinging strike rate and whiff rate is up. So really like what we're seeing from Nick Pivetta. The bottom half of this lineup is beatable. The top half is tough. Yaz, Holy, Chapman, Flores, all hitting the ball well this year. But there's a lot of strikeout upside in this lineup. They have 6 guys with strikeout rates typically in the lineup over 20%. So I like Pivetta. I like both pitchers in this game. I think this is going to be one of the lower scoring games on the slate. I don't have any interest in bats in this game. I mean, if you're going to do anything, it's a San Francisco one-off and try to get that Nick Pivetta home run. But I think this ballpark, like I said, is really going to help his fly ball home run issues that we've seen over the years. So Miami at LA taking on the Dodgers, 8.5 total in this game. The Dodgers are 190 favorite. Sandy Alcantara and a bullpen game for the Dodgers. I was trying to find it and I totally got sidetracked, but I'm going to look it up really quick. I was trying to look if they sent Matt Sawyer down to stretch him out. So I'm trying to pull this up really quick to see what he has done in the minors here. I do not like how hard it is to find minor league stats sometimes. So I know I can go on Fangraphs and look, but I'm trying to find. All right, hold on. Sorry, I meant to do this before the show and I just forgot. All right, so he got sent down. He threw 3 innings, then he threw 1 2/3, and he threw 5 innings on April 12th. And then the 18th, he threw 3 2/3, and then the 23rd, he threw 3. So, I mean, I don't think he's like he's 8,300. We shouldn't even be having this conversation right now, but I like doing my due diligence and looking. I know it's a matchup against the Marlins and everything, but I mean, he only threw 3 innings his last outing on April 23rd. I just don't see how he could be stretched out, and it was out of the bullpen too. It wasn't even like he didn't start that game. He threw 3 innings out of the bullpen, and he threw 44 pitches in that one. So I can't see. I'm trying to look here. Has he made any starts since getting sent down? Okay, so he started the outing before this. He threw 68 pitches and 3 2/3. Yeah, I mean, I can't do it. I'm not seeing enough for me to want to do it. I'm not doing it. Even against the Marlins, don't care. Oh, I guess I should have. I went backwards. I'm sorry. I wanted to look it up before the show and I forgot, and it made me go backwards here. But let's talk about Sandy Alcantara. We did see him at all last year, coming back from injury. I don't feel like we've gotten a chance to talk about him a lot on the podcast this year. But again, he's struggling with command. He's walking a lot of hitters. This is something that we saw a lot. His strikeout rate is way down. His ground ball rate continues to be really good. He does a really good job of like generating ground balls, but not against the Dodgers. We don't have to get too crazy in depth here, but not against the Dodgers. As far as the hitters go for the Dodgers, I'm going backwards again. Miami bats first. So quickly pulling up the stats for the Dodgers bullpen. They're very close to a top 10 bullpen. So if we are getting like a bullpen type of game here, not necessarily. They lead the majors in strikeouts in bullpen by 30 strikeouts. Could just be pitchers, but yeah, I mean, for me on the Miami bats, Ramirez, the catcher, has been hitting ever since he got called up. I like guys like this. He's 3,700. Mervis has a little bit of upside. Talk about his power a little bit this year, Wagman, but overall, not going too crazy in this spot with the Miami bats, even in like what looks to be a bullpen type of game, because the Dodgers bullpen is super solid. As far as the Dodgers bats go, I mean, I always like the Dodgers. I love the fact that like Mookie and Will Smith and Conforto, they hit the ball up in the air a lot more. We know that like Freeman, but Will Smith is a massive like fly ball hitter. So is Max Muncy. He's just not hitting the ball. So I like the Dodgers stack, especially if they're going to be low owned. They can hit the ball up in the air. Last game, like Magic, where they don't typically get a lot of ownership because people don't like waiting this long, or they like to go to bed and they like to watch. So we could sweat some Dodgers at bats tomorrow night on the podcast. But I'm going to play some Dodgers stacks today. Conforto, Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, maybe a little Max Muncy, even though he's been ice cold to start the season, but he's now under 3K, and he makes the stacks work. And I don't know how much longer do the Dodgers. How much more leash do the Dodgers give Max Muncy with how much he's struggled this year? All right, let's play the morning grind game again. If you haven't already, head on over to the youtube.com/morning grind and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, we're trying to grow the page. I do this show for free. I don't charge. I don't have sponsors. So yeah, I mean, the podcast is basically here for you. So if you want to help me out, going over there to the YouTube page, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. All right, morning grind game under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. I think we have a couple options for this question today. I got it. The more I think about this, the more I think it's Peterson. I like Olsen, but I think it's Peterson. I think there's going to be enough lefties in this lineup still that we are going to get some upside here from Peterson. Over 8K to score under 15. My bust today is, I mean, I feel like Sawyer is the easy option because that price tag on DraftKings is ridiculous. I don't know what he's priced on FanDuel, but yeah. I'm going to go with Miller, though. I do not like Bryce Miller in this spot today. Over 4K to hit a home run, not in cores. There are a ton of home run options today. There are stacks galore. I am going to go. Man, I think I gotta go with Chiriot. I like Milwaukee. I like the home run upside, especially against Bryce Wilson. And he's gonna get that lefty in the first at bat, so I don't mind that either. Under 4K to score 10 or more. Is he still cheap? Let's look on DraftKings if he is still cheap. He is still cheap. Give me Chandler Simpson to score 10 or more points today. Stack to score 6 or more runs. Let's go Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers. All right. Let's pull up PrizePicks and see if we got anything going on over there. Up for slate. While that's loading, I will say I'm looking this up really quick. My morning grind bet today, I'm not going to do a 3-pick parlay, but my morning grind bet today is under 3.5 runs in the first 5 innings of the Giants Padres game. That is my morning grind bet, under 3.5 first 5 in the San Francisco San Diego game. Let's see. PrizePicks. Does it look like they have? Oh, they do. Okay, they have some stuff up. Let's see here. Hitter fantasy score. I always like to look and see, there's one that I really like. Trio at more than 7 fantasy score. I like that one. That one just seems a little low. We get more of these throughout the day over on PrizePicks, and we're able to take advantage of it a little bit more. Let's see here. Trying to find a couple that I like. Oh, that seems low. Hold on. I gotta look something up real quick. Do you guys, I hate doing this. I forget to do it before the show, but I like to do it, so I'm sorry ahead of time. Oh man, that line is so tempting. All right. So we have Trio at more than 7, and let's go more than 5.5 strikeouts for Freddie. Oh, they're on the same team. I can't do that. Oh man, that messes me up. That messes me up. All right. Who do we? Oh, they got some. Hold on, they have some total bases up. Let's look at these total bases real quick. Where is? Trying to find my boy Wyatt Langford here real quick. Oh, I like this one. Do they not have Langford? They don't. All right, we'll go with this one. I talked about this. Hold on. Come on. Langford has to be on here, right? All right, we'll do his hitter fantasy score. All right. Morning grind play over there on PrizePicks for today. Because of the Peralta goblin or whatever, I am going to flex this one today and just try to get a double up here. I got Trio more than 7 fantasy score, Freddie Peralta more than 5.5 strikeouts, and Wyatt Langford more than 7.5 fantasy score. So that is my attempt at a double up for today. I hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. We're back, or I am back. I'll eventually get used to saying me. I am back tomorrow. Don't know how many games we got, but always fun to talk some Wednesday baseball. So hope everyone has a great Tuesday, and I'll see you all tomorrow.